Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. We're gonna get started very soon. Just want to make sure the sound is okay. If anybody on YouTube can let me know if the sound is okay. Yeah, hi everyone. I just want to know if you guys can give me a feedback on the sound is not that good. Can the sound is okay? Hmm. So the sound is not good on the YouTube, right? Not so okay. I don't know what I can do here. So the sound is not good on the YouTube, right? Not so okay. Um, I don't know what I can do here. Yeah, sounds good on TradingView, as far as I understand, but on YouTube it's not good. I did change a few things, but maybe it's not working. I apologize. I honestly don't know what else I can do here. Yeah. I actually rewatched my YouTube's last two streams, and it's shaky, right? It's a little bit bad. Um, I mean, if anybody is like tech expert, you can give me some pointers. If anybody is like really good with tech or knows what's going on, please give me some ideas or pointers. So I have no idea what to do or how to fix this really. And it's not a microphone thing. I think it's just a stream YouTube because when I make videos on TradingView, it's using the same camera and same sound and it's okay. But when I do the stream, maybe because it's connecting to YouTube at the same time and it's a little bit shaky, really I'm not sure. But so I apologize everyone. I'm gonna look into it more, but I did do some changes, but I don't know what else I can do. Yeah, TradingView is fine, apparently. I know that. And so I apologize, everyone. Yeah, it's not my sound. It's not my sound. I know someone was mentioning maybe because you're not feeling well sick. No, it's not my sound. This sound is fine from other TradingView. It's just like maybe when it connects to YouTube or something. But that's really never happened to me before. So, um, So I'll post the link in you for TradingView on here if you guys are interested. But I'm gonna get started anyways. Okay, so get started here. If you guys want to jump onto that, sure. I apologize again. I did try to do something with it, but I guess I didn't succeed. So I apologize there, guys. Let me see. Something to do with YouTube only? Yeah, I agree. I do agree it's something to do with YouTube only. So I apologize there. I'm gonna run both. Okay, I'm gonna run both, and then take it from there. Okay, so we're gonna get started now. Why don't we get started now? We'll just kind of go from there and take it from there and see how it goes. I'm gonna look into this a little bit more and make sure I write this down because got quite a bit of things I need to do. Sounds better here. Yeah, I know sounds better on TradingView, so I apologize. So let's get started, okay? Let's get started now. So let's go over the positions I have running. Does YouTube have streaming setting? That's a good question. I'm not a expert when it comes to this, so if anybody is, please give me some pointers. Much better on TradingView. Yeah, I do agree. I was listening to myself as well. So let's get started now, okay? That's not get yeah. Sounds not good. Yeah, go on YouTube. Go on TradingView. The link I post. Go on TradingView if that is better. So let's get started now. Live position. Well, I'm still live on Ripple, right? So we talk about Ripple during the recap videos as well. So some of you guys caught this move as well. So nice. Running. I think about 2.5% right now. So it's running pretty good. It's in good profit right now. So I'll see how it goes when we actually pass the previous high. Right? What I want to see here is when the price does pass this previous high here, which is right now, right? We want to see if we're going to get further consolidation, whatever it's going to do. That may give us another opportunity to possibly enter another one. But now, because we're breaking the high and it's looking like it's pretty impulsively, so the next high really is this next high here that I'm seeing here, right? This is also kind of the previous kind of high where the price dropped. So I'll be looking to see what price will do if we do actually impulsively to the upside and then take it from there. But that's kind of how I see a Ripple, like how hard my current management is right now. Happy to hold the trade and kind of take it from there step at a time. I'll set like a alert down here to see what price will do if it starts dropping down, form bearish correction, whatever. Then I can exit the trade. But as of now, I'm happy to hold the trade, right? Running decent profit right now. I think it's about 2.5% or so in terms of risk ratio. So I'm okay with that. And then take it from there, right? Because we broke this previous high already. So I think there's more room to the upside if there is going to. Um, but we'll take it from there, right? I'm happy to manage it this way, and it's in profit now. So I'm already going to move the stop loss to break even and then take it from there. So let's go into currency now. I'm also in Euro Yen. I don't know if any of you guys got in on Euro Yen, but Euro Yen, I update everyone in Telegram, and I also got in on this position here. So I'll quickly go over this position here. I think this is the only one that looks like which you can see on my watch list. There's really no other currency pair on watch. I don't really see any other currency pair on watch. So we'll take it from there. We'll go from there and see how it goes. I see it like this. So after the previous impulsive phrase to the downside, we start forming into a larger expanding structure. Remember last 2 weeks or so when you guys asked me about Euro Yen, I said I'm only going to be interested if the Euro Yen climb up to this potential top, which is pretty much exactly what it did, right? So I was really patiently waiting while the price was down here before. And now that we kind of correctively move up to the top here, what I like about what I see here is we have a double top here. We have an expanding structure with a few swing highs and few swing lows. What we also have is a kind of a rising wedge pushing the price up, right? So a reversal. And if we look into the lower time frame here, what do we get here? We have also a head and shoulder pattern, right? So all that is bearish confluence, bearish kind of price action. So I'm happy to enter a trade like this. Let me just get this out if I can. So enter this position once I saw the breakdown of the right shoulder. So I was just basically waiting for a push down from the price, which is kind of giving me that. So this is the only kind of a live position I have on the Forex pair. I just enter with pretty easy, right? So I stop entry order, stop loss above the high, right? And then kind of peg me in. But again, I knew Monday would be a little bit less volume, so it's going to be consolidating here. I'm fine with that, right? Sometimes the price will evolve, right? If it's going to evolve into a bigger correction, whatever, then we'll take it from there. We'll see how it goes, right? So that's my current running position right now on Euro Yen. But I think the risk reward is very good. The risk reward is there, and we got a lot of room to the downside. So this one, if it does play out, will be a pretty good position. But I'll see how it goes when the price does reach to this low here, and if it does break down and continue later, then I will see how it goes, right? So like I said, the only right position I have running right now, um, and take it from there, right? Monday morning, like I said, low volume, so we'll see how it goes. Hello, hello, nice to see you guys all. Yeah, the sound is not good. Yes, I do apologize. The sound is not good because something to do with YouTube. So you can watch it on TradingView. I link it above. If you guys are interested, you can watch it on YouTube. I mean, sorry, if you're interested, you can watch it on TradingView. Those of you who are on YouTube. But unfortunately, I'm going to fix that or hopefully fix it better. So make sure you turn the setting quality to 1080p if it's not good. Turn the quality to 1080p on YouTube if you can't see it clearly. It's on HD, right? So, but those are the only two positions. But let's get started. But before I get started, I really want to explain one thing here. So I didn't want to do this, but I kind of have to now because of what's going on lately. Let me just show you guys one thing. So lately, unfortunately, on YouTube, I mean, sorry, on YouTube, I don't know what I'm talking about. So there's been scammers going on right now, unfortunately, on various platforms, things like that. So I just bring this attention because I'm gonna do this every stream now, just to bring attention to bring awareness to everyone. So these scammers have been trying to impersonate me. So look at how many of these accounts that this scammer is creating um, to basically impersonate me to message you guys. So be careful. Okay, I really want to mention this because look how many of them I have to remove. All these pretending to be me using my same display picture. Unfortunately, there's no way to know that they're doing that until they message you guys. So again, if you get messages from me or pretending to be me, please ignore it because I would never direct message you or private message you for anything. Okay, so if you're not sure, please read this post right here, right? I would never message you. Okay, this is from my main channel, so the scammers cannot type anything here. So if you ever wonder who is messaging you, there's an easy way to find out, right? Because I would never message you directly for out of nowhere for any reason. I would never ask you for money, crypto, or any trading signal or whatever it is, right? If you're not sure who messaged you, just make sure the person messaging you is from my um, real account, right? If you can see here, I'm the only one with this account, right? The scammers will use similar usernames, right? Something just a letter off or whatever, trying to message you guys. So please be careful. I would never message you for anything, trying to sell you anything or some BS like that. So be careful here. And the best way to understand is you want to message me or whoever messaging you, it has to come from my main official channels or group or whatever. Anything else other than that is likely to be scam. Okay, so please be careful here. Don't let these scammers work, right? But the most important is nobody's buying into these scammers BS, right? So don't fall for their trap, right? If they message you telling you that I'm making some VIP signals, charging you money, sending you crypto, making you admin, account management, blah 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 blah. Something that's not my usual thing to do, right? Those of you who follow me understand that I don't do any of those. So please be careful when you do get messages from these guys because they're just massively send out messages and there's no way I can stop them, right? As my platforms continue to grow, there's no way for me to stop them, unfortunately. So all I can tell you is verbally tell you guys every time when I do streams and update everything in my social media and things like that. That's the only way I can warn you guys, but there's no way of me catching them. Okay, so I just want to bring this to everybody's attention. Whoever is new, please understand, I would never message you or direct message you. Right, the most easiest way is just click that person's profile, right? Right away, you see their username is going to be similar to what mine is. they're gonna copy my same bio, use my same display name, use the same display picture, right? But all this is just should be an alert right away because they're going to send out BS, right? I receive so many different people messaging me about they receive messages from scammers. So be careful, okay? I just want to bring this to attention because I don't want you guys to get scammed by these scammers, right? They're getting smarter. They're going to do all this, but we're going to do our way to protect our community and then continue to grow. Okay, so I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. Unfortunately, that is what's going on sometimes right now in the group, and I'm just trying to protect everyone. I can't catch all of them, unfortunately, right? I appreciate whoever received these messages. Let me know. That is really appreciated from the community. But please be careful if you do receive messages from these scammers because that's what they do. Okay. Okay, so let's continue here. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what I can do with all this, but let's continue here. Okay, so let's continue now. Scammers are avoidable. Yes, yes. Exactly. People who know your content will know I will never ask for money, nor give out signal or charge for signal. So please be careful, right? If you're new or if you're new to everything I'm doing, please find out from the other members or whatever, right? Because I don't do those things, right? It's pretty simple, and the scammers are taking advantage because they know I don't provide those, right? So suddenly, if they pretend to be like me, it's easier for them to basically get some potential victims, right? Anyways, let's get started now. If you guys have pairs that want me to take a look, please label it long or short because I want to know what you're looking at instead of just getting it from me. So if you have pairs you want me to take a look, make sure you label long or short or buy or sell so that I can take a look and I can see what you are looking at. So let's get started. Let's get started now. Let's get started now with dollar index. So remember on Telegram here, I post pretty much everything that I was looking at for the week ahead, right? So if you ever don't watch the stream or watch it later, I'll try my best to kind of pinpoint the things I'm looking at for the week ahead. So that may give you a better idea. Now dollar index here, I'm basically just looking at the price to see if we're going to continue breaking this previous low here. We're quite close here, so be careful. I want to see price breakdown first and then correction after to confirm the further downside. If it doesn't break down, if it kind of just hover around here and start getting reversal like price action, then I'm not interested. Now remember, we're always looking for confirmation first. We're not just going to blindly enter here where there's no confluence. The confluence is going to be a price breakdown from the previous low and then further bearish continuation to push the price lower. Right, that should be the confirmation and the confluence that we're looking for the continuation of this bearish run. Now, we already pushed down quite a bit, so be careful. Sometimes we're going to form deeper correction or whatever the case, or maybe even form some sort of head and shoulder. That's also a possibility. So be careful if this pullback will be sharp here before another downside. But either or, my opinion is if we break down here previous low, that's a better potential entry. If we do form a right shoulder here, then it's also a positive confluence. At least it's a corrective move up, and we do see a head and shoulder, a bigger head and shoulder, and we're also we're also at the top of these overall higher time frame kind of structure, so that's also good as well. We'll see how dollar performed this week. Again, not much movement likely, in my opinion, this New York session. But once we get to Asia or London session, maybe there's going to be more movement. So be on the lookout for that. Yep. In fact, I'm very happy to learn from you because I can feel you're honest, sincere, and have nothing to sell forcefully. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that comment. That is really what I'm doing here. So, hey, so Euro Aussie, yep. I will take a look at Euro Aussie, Euro Swiss, sure. Gold, yeah, Aussie dollar. Let's get back from that. CAD yen, yep. So I go the stream. I'm going in order, everyone. So as you guys know, I'm going from Forex to commodity indices and crypto, but I will go over crypto as well. So let's go. So let's talk about euro dollar here. So euro dollar, I think a lot of you guys caught this bullish run, myself included here. So that's very good. Good for you guys to also catch this potential bullish run here. Now the price has basically broken out of that descending structure that I point out. So what can we expect from the price? Well, in my opinion, there was a potential buy here. I personally wasn't too interested because I want to see basically a larger correction, right? I don't think this was enough to correct all this move. Certainly is a possible entry. I don't know if you guys got in on this entry, but it looks like it's just kind of pushing back to the break-even point, and that's kind of added to kind of what I was saying is that I'm looking for a bigger consolidation, right? The same kind of impulses pushing to the upside also requires some sort of degree of correction, right? That's just how price works. So if we get some sort of consolidation here, right, in the next couple of days or so, this can easily give us another opportunity for a bullish run. Now, we're not just going to blindly enter here. Remember, I always talk about breaking out of the trend line is one thing, right? Because breaking out of the trend line is not a guaranteed buy, is what we go after if we get consolidation here, right? We remember when we backtest, when we look at price market action, after an impulse break of trend line, what do we need to wait for? Continuation correction. That's going to give you a much better probability of entering rather than just entering after a breakout, right? That's the difference here. So same idea here, right? We see the price push up, we see the price breaking out of this descending structure. So what do we expect here? Well, continuation. So give the price a little bit of room to correct if it's going to, and that can give you a potential buy again after the correction is finished because we still have quite a bit room to the upside. If we just zoom out here, look where we are right now in the price, right? Remember, after from high time frame view, that's double bottom, descending structure, higher time frame, larger structure as well. So all these are just positive confluence right now, and we're breaking above this area and still quite more than half of the price to move after, right? So there is going to be opportunity for this, but be patient, okay? Be very, very patient because I find a lot of traders, or at least newer traders, they tend to jump in. They tend to jump in the position once it breaks some, trend lines or resistance or whatever. We need to wait for confirmation, as I always talk about, right? Wait for confirmation development. That's going to give you a better entry and better consistent entry in the long run. All right. So that is euro dollar. Let's continue here. Euro cat short, Kiwi cat short, pound yen. So let's continue here. I follow you just 1 month. You're very kind and energy. Thanks you so much. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. I have a bunch of Viennese friends, by the way, here in Vancouver. Holly, hopefully I pronounced that right. Yeah. In Vancouver, there's actually a bunch of Viennese people I'm friends with, so nice to see you. Someone mentioned about Aussie dollar, right? Not too interested in Aussie dollar. I think something is happening here, right? We did break this previous high, this massive bullish push. I saw a bunch of you guys maybe got in on the buy. Good job on you. Now, I think it's going to be if it's going to consolidate here like euro dollar, if it does, then certainly is another potential buy, but I'm not convinced that this bullish run is going to continue without a bigger consolidation. Okay, because just how the price has moved, right? If we just zoom out here, look how far, let's say like this bearish move down, and it takes this long to correct to lead to the next bearish run, right? Now that we have a reversal, but this is still just one kind of bullish run. So are we going to get similar structure like this before the next upside? Possible, right? Making a bigger head and shoulder pattern before the upside. So something like this, I'm really not interested in some lower time frame correction to buy. I don't think that's enough to correct this whole bullish move. So if I'm going to get involved in something like this, right, I would prefer a bigger consolidation before the next upside. I think that's more makes sense, and something equal in terms of a inverse head and shoulder that will give you a potential better opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that a lower time frame correction won't work out. I'm just saying strictly from a probability point of view and from an experience point of view, I just don't think this strong of a bullish run, right? If we look at how far the price has moved, it's about almost 400 pips, right? So it's unlikely we're just going to get a small correction and continue moving up. Look how much of the price is correct if we move down, right? Anytime when it move down, it correct, move down, correct, move down, right? So I think same thing can be happening here, just a bigger consolidation. Okay. Someone asked about pound dollar. I didn't really see a buy or sell unless I missed it. Pound dollar, I think I'm not too interested in pound dollar. I saw some drawings that you guys have maybe a kind of a wedge or a channel like this, and someone pointed out this could be a top. Potentially, but I don't really see the confluence here personally. Okay, don't get me wrong. I personally just don't like what's going on here. It's a little bit consolidating. I'm really having a hard time to even identify any drawings here. Certainly, there is some corrective move. Don't get me wrong. This looks like a corrective move. But that's really all I see. I don't really want to say this is a double top. I would prefer the double top to be up here. So if it correctively move up to this top here, and then drop down and a correction after, that's a different story. But as of now, I don't really see much here. I think there's better opportunities, at least from a euro dollar point of view. I see it more as a potential bullish continuation. Pound dollar here isn't really giving us that kind of a bullish breakout or bullish price action yet. So it's a little bit conflicting, or it's a little bit not, the buy and sell here isn't as clear. So I'm happy to be a little bit more patient, right? My kind of a higher time frame bias, if we just zoom out here, my higher time frame bias or view is more of a bullish point, right? I think this is a more of a bullish push up now with the few swing highs and few swing lows. That price really isn't breaking this low here. So to me, this can easily lead to a continuation, but nothing here on the lower time frame is giving me extra confluence. So I'm happy to wait. All right, so I'm moving down the list, everyone. So make sure I did catch all the points, all the pairs. So just give me a moment on as I'm going down. You can see on my right, that's my watch list, right? So I did see all the pairs that you guys pinpoint. Now let's continue here. Kiwi yen, I will also go over. For euro dollar, if somebody's holding from the bottom, that's all up to your plan, of course, right? Again, this is why I encourage everyone to have your own plan and risk management. Now, I exit the plan, I exit euro dollar here because of what I saw here, right? Head and shoulder, I update everyone here in the recap video. Certainly it's not wrong to hold your trade. If you're still live in the position, if you want to hold the trade, go ahead, right? As long as that fits your management plan. If you feel that this is going to be a continuation, if you're happy to hold on to the initial position and wait for another continuation and possibly scale in, that's perfectly fine, right? It's all up to your plan, right? There's nothing wrong with either or. Remember, I always talk about trading, no right and wrong. It depends on your perspective and your plan. So for my plan, at least when I saw that head and shoulder, I'm happy to exit. There's together I made about 7.9, right? So I think that was perfectly fine. Especially I wouldn't know what will happen if it's going to pull back a deeper correction. So I'm happy to secure profit, but I'm happy to get back into a position if it forms another continuation. So that was my plan, and I'm going to follow it. Whereas if you have a plan to hold from the bottom and then hold through this correction, depending on how deep or how long it will go, and then still hold on to the next push up, then go ahead, right? Nothing wrong with that. Yes, I got Euro Aussie. So I'm moving down the list, everyone. So just be patient with me. I'm just going through all the pairs on the right in order. So your take on NASDAQ and Dow Jones, I will go over those. I think there's potential opportunity on indices as well, but just give me some time. I have a few pairs to go over. So let's look at dollar yen. Dollar yen last week I did take a break even here. I explained this in a recap video when price kind of just bullishly push up after hitting my like 1-to-1 here. So exit for break even here. I think the price is getting a larger structure. Remember, we talk about price action structures. They continue to evolve, right? So what was once a structure like this, which is the one I drew previously when I entered this cell, now basically just evolve into a larger structure, but nothing changes, right? Nothing changes from a price action point of view because it still gives you that impulsive break. It still creates a potential continuation within this after this impulsive move and within this larger correction. So nothing changes, right? Nothing changes from at least my bearish point of view. Now this is where the price is. So what do we expect? Well, I want to see some sort of continuation, right? Some sort of correction to go down lower. I would have feel better if it's something like this, a little bit tighter structure, tighter correction, just after it breaks out of this correction here, and then a consolidation here could potentially lead to the next downside. But it doesn't look like it's happening right now. Almost look like there's a little bit of a bullish push up and that this is going to be a bullish correction. So that's going to be kind of me on my maybe list, right? I'm just kind of watching for price to develop. I'm also not surprised if we just evolve the structure and then price makes another move up to the top once again and then sell after. So be careful, right? We're not going to, like I said, entering because we break out a trend line. See how it breaks out the trend line and push back afterwards, taking a lot of traders out. There's no continuation here, right? There is no consolidation here to lead to the next downside. So you want to be careful. The possibility of this structure push up to the top and then sell, all of this is that the structure continue to evolve. But as long as the correction structure, as long as the price is still in this consolidation, I don't think anything changes from a bearish point of view. So that's dollar yen. Let's look at dollar Singapore dollar. This is the only other dollar that I was talking about for at least a week or two, but I didn't get into this, but I think someone called in and was messaging me about what I think about now. Now we can see the larger structure completes. We see the price push down from this correction here, and I think he was asking me what I would do now if it breaks this low. Well, I think the price broke this low here, right? That's good. So same thing as we talk about a few pair when we break the previous low. So are we going to get consolidation here that leads to the next push down? That's something that's very important. I kind of doubt this will just start dropping like this, but I think a correction or a consolidation here will lead to the next push down, and that's something that I will be, or you should be on the lookout for if you're getting in from the top here. I think they're still halfway through to the downside, a potential move to the downside. So a correction here is valid to push the price lower. So let's continue here. That's all the dollar pairs, everyone. That is really all I see. I really don't have any entries on any of the dollar pair. The only thing that I will be looking out for is euro dollar. Maybe this will happen in the next couple of days. We don't know how it will. But other than that, I don't have a direct setup. I don't think dollar yen is ready at this moment. So that's about it. Now we can look at a few yen pairs now. Some of you guys are looking at the yen pairs. So let's look at the yen pairs. And a bunch of you guys say Kiwi Yen, but you're not giving me a direction on Kiwi Yen on YouTube. So if you can type in long or short for Kiwi Yen, that would be nice. Please give me long or short. If you're looking at a few pairs and you want my analysis on it, I would appreciate you guys letting me know what you're looking at. That will be a better experience and better. Hey, Samath, I saw your Euro Aussie. I'm just going down the list right now. Okay, so please be patient. As you can see, I'm doing it one by one. Okay. So let's continue here. Cat Yen. I think Cat Yen could be something here. I update everyone here for potential things that's going on right now. I like how after this initial pushdown, remember, I think a bunch of us caught this Cat Yen position, right? Cat Yen position, push down the low, just didn't form continuation, and then just a strong reversal. Now, what do we get here in price? Well, we're consolidating here, right? We're consolidating here into kind of a rising wedge or ascending channel. So I think there's possibility here if the price continue to correct, and they break down followed by a correction, I think that could be a potential sell opportunity. That will depending on how this correction will go. I appreciate if the price push down, confirming a correction finish, and then a lower time frame continuation, and see how the price will do if it hits this low here or the previous low. Okay, there's definitely enough risk reward, and I like how we're forming into a correction now. Previously, when we see the move push down and then a reversal up move, and like I was looking at, well, is this going to give us a bullish continuation to push higher? Well, no, it kind of falls into more of a corrective structure, and we know these type of structures are very, very likely to reverse, right? You can see how similar price action here compared to what's going on here. It's just a different scale, right? After a bullish push up from the price, it falls into this kind of ascending structure and then push down. Right, same idea here. A bullish push up falls into a more of a bearish correction and then potentially push down as well. So that's something I will be on the lookout for. I think there is possibility here if it does develop the right price action. So let's continue here. Swiss yen. So Swiss yen, I saw a bunch of you guys looking for a sell, and I do agree, right? I do agree from a higher time frame down to lower time frame. I think this is quite clear. We talk about Swiss yen many, many times from the higher time frame, right? Impulsive move, larger correction. I think that's pretty standard. Everybody is seeing the same thing. We have the ascending channel, and we're looking at if this is going to be some sort of continuation to push down. Now, if we look at the lower time frame here, after the previous lower time frame push down, there is like a larger structure here in the making. And if we look closely here, we have this kind of a expanding structure. We're at the top. We push down the price, and it looks like it's falling into a more another correction here. Now you can see this as a flag, and then if the flag does break out, that's a potential opportunity. Or you want to wait for a breakout followed by a continuation correction. That's also fine, I think. But I got into Euro Yen now, so I'm not looking to enter any other yen pairs at this given moment. We'll see how this one develops. I think there is potential here, but I would more likely prefer if price can complete this structure, completely break out. So basically breaking out of this ascending channel and then further a correction. I think that's also a opportunity or a potential entry. I would think that's the safer entry as well. So depending on how your plan is, depending on how your perspective on this current price, but I think the downside here is looking clean, right? Everybody is looking at potential sell opportunity from this. If this correction completes, and if we complete, basically completing this ascending structure as well, so further downside I think is very, very likely. That's Swiss yen. We went over Euro yen right in the beginning, so Euro yen, I'll quickly go over that. We talk about that after this impulsive move to the downside, we see this expanding structure with the double top, with the rising wedge, and head and shoulder pattern here as well. So everything is added to my confluence. So I just set entry order here, stop loss above the correction, above this head and shoulder pattern as well. So we'll see how this consolidation goes, right? It's Monday, so maybe not as much volume. We don't know what will happen. But my kind of initial target would be, this will be like my first initial target, see what price will do if it hits to the low. And if it does continue, I do want to see price hitting this previous low as well. And if we going to get a completion of this correction, then definitely looking to hold more downside. But if we're not going to hit this bottom and then reverse back up, potentially forming just a larger structure of it, then obviously I will exit somewhere here for profit and move on. So let's look at pound yen here. Pound yen, some of you guys are looking for sell, right? I'm just double checking what you guys are saying. So pound yen, I think it's a similar price action like CAD yen here, right? We have this bullish push off on the price. We had a bullish push off on the price, but we fall into more of a corrective price action. So this is similar like a rising wedge kind of price action. So we know these are typically reversal type of price, right? So if we can complete the correction here, looks like it's breaking out, but remember, breaking out is not a confirmation to enter. But if it followed by a continuation price action, right, we need to see a lower time frame consolidation, lower time frame bearish continuation price, and that could potentially give us an entry here down to the low here or down to the previous low for potential. Now, I mentioned this on pretty much last 2 weeks is that although this is looking okay, but it's not my best one that I will get involved because if we look closely, um, this is still a previous low that the price hasn't break with, right? I think some of you guys pointed out this is a larger head and shoulder, and I do agree something is happening here, but I would better prefer if we can break this previous low, right? Previous low broken and then continue later. That would be better as well. But certainly this is a possible entry. This is certainly a possible area that we can get involved in if that fits your plan to enter. But personally, I got involved in Euro Yen already, so I'm not looking at any other yen pairs to enter at this given moment. Let's go into Kiwi Yen here. Lots of you guys are talking about Kiwi Yen long. But I think Kiwi Yen is more, I would say Kiwi Yen is, I'm more neutral on Kiwi Yen. Now, long makes sense because we broke this previous high, but I don't think this is enough of a correction to buy. It's the same thing that we talk about on Aussie dollar, right? We talk about Aussie dollar here. I would say it's the same as Kiwi dollar, right? Because this massive bullish run, it needs to correct on a most given case. Now, there's obviously a smaller chance. There's just all it needs is a lower time frame correction that takes off. But I don't think so from experience point of view, because after a strong kind of that strong of a bullish run, right? This is 350 pips or so. Naturally, price just needs to correct. That's just how price works, right? We need to form a deeper correction, a lengthier consolidation before the next upside. So I doubt this is all we need, a smaller correction to take off, and that would be the same here on Kiwi Yen. We did break the high, that's good, but I doubt this is all it needs to take off. We're likely to see bigger consolidation. Look how much of correction we see from previous Kiwi Yen price action, right? All these are previous Kiwi Yen price action that requires a bigger consolidation, a bigger pullback, a bigger correction in general. Now, this bullish move is strong, don't get me wrong, but we're just likely to see consolidation. I just doubt this is going to continue all the way to the top here without a deeper correction or some sort of consolidation here for the upside. Okay, so I'm not interested in Kiwi Yen. Certainly there's probability here or possibilities, but I doubt this is enough to push the price higher. That is kind of how I see this. All right, so let's continue here. Let's continue to a few euro pairs now. A bunch of you guys are asking about Euro Aussie. If I'm correct, you guys are asking Euro Aussie sell, Euro Aussie sell, Euro Aussie sell. Do we have Euro Aussie sell? Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments here, so I'm trying to make sure I get everyone. So Euro Aussie sell. I do agree the bearish move is there, but I think there's a potential thing that we need to worry about is this previous low here, right? Now you can see this was also the previous low before the bullish up move. Okay, so it's quite significant. It's that we're approaching to this low now. And if we look closely here, whether or not we get consolidation here, that would be good, or if we just break below this low here and form consolidation. One thing that I will not do is to try to sell here. Okay, look how much the price has already dropped, right? You have to understand how price works is that once it moved that much, it's just unlikely to move in a straight line continue. Just if you're having doubts, just zoom out here. When have you seen price just move up straight up like this, except some coronavirus situation, right? That's coronavirus, that's different. But if you look at all these previous prices, like when has it just kind of continue shoot up without correction to continue? It's not likely, right? Push down, correction. Sorry. If you look at previous price here, you see a impulse down, correction, impulse down, correction, right? So it's not very going to move down in a straight line like this. That's just how the price works. So if we done enough backtesting, we'll see kind of the similarity is that we learn from our backtesting is that price doesn't move in a straight line. So likely you're going to get some sort of consolidation here, especially we are approaching to this previous low. So what is likely to happen here? Well, I think there's going to be consolidation here like that if that's going to happen, or we can break past this low but form a deeper correction for the downside. So I'm not really interested to sell here personally, right? That's just me personally following my plan. This end of the run here is possible, and we might even get some sort of bullish reversal. We don't know what's going to happen, but because we're approaching to this low here, I'm really not interested to look for sell here or look for anything really. I do agree that down move is the bias here is a bearish move, but I don't think there's an entry here. I don't think the price developed enough. Look how big of this potential is. So there's even possibility of a pullback high enough to form a head and shoulder here and then downside after, right? So nothing here to me is screaming for a sell here. I'm going to wait for some degree of correction to lead to next downside. Now let's move on here. Dollar CAD, I'm gonna get back to it after I finish all the pairs. Some of you guys are looking at Euro CAD sell, and I do agree. I think last market update I talked about, I do agree there is something going on here on Euro CAD. We talk about the confluence is a double top here. We talk about the impulse up, reversal impulse followed by a continuation. Remember, we always talk about this type of price action, right? I call it reversal impulse, right? It's usually very significant when you see an impulse. It's not followed by continuation nor reversal. It's followed by a reversal impulse. And if it's followed by a continuation price, then it does give you a possible good confluence. Personally, I was looking at this in Euro Yen at the time, and I think ultimately I chose Euro Yen because of the overall price, which is to me slightly better. But I think Euro CAD is the same. I think Euro CAD is the same. So those of you who are into Euro CAD, I think it's fine. I like how there's an impulse and move. I like there is a larger continuation, and there is another correction after breakout, right? So this is one of my entry I talk about all the time. So I think this fits the potential criteria. If that fits your plan, I think it's fine to execute as long as you know the risks and you know the reward, right? I think there's potential room to the downside to here or to the bottom here. I think there's enough price to push down. Okay. But I like EuroCAD. I think EuroCAD makes sense. Those of you who are asking for EuroCAD, I think it is how I see it like that. So let's continue here. There's some of you guys are asking Euro Swiss long, and some of you guys asking Euro Swiss sell. Looks like there's a conflicting bias here. Let me give you guys my personal opinion on it. Now, I like how there is kind of a bottom here, right? Price have a bottom and then impulsively push the upside. I think there's something going on here. It looks like there is more of a ascending structure here rather than a bullish impulsive break. Now, because this is at the top, I think both of you guys are looking for long, looking for short. I think this is a crucial area. To me, if you're looking for long, my plan would be I want to wait for price to break out of this higher time frame structure first, and then continuation after to buy. Right? That's going to be my confirmation to buy only if it breaks out of this structure. If it doesn't, I'm really not interested to buy. Whereas if you're looking for sell, then I do agree that if price doesn't break above this correction, this larger correction to the top, if it consolidates a little bit more, and then a sharp breakdown followed by a lower time frame correction, this is going to be your sell entry or sell criteria, in my opinion. So that's kind of how I see. And personally, I'm not really interested to enter this one either. I am in Euro Yen, right? So I'm not looking to enter another Euro pair unless I can move the first position to break even. But I do see the similarity, right? You do see the similarity here as well, okay? And now you're at the top of this higher time frame structure, and this higher time frame structure has been quite annoying. Annoying meaning that it hasn't been able to break out of that structure here, and we don't know if this time will be either, right? So best to take it as what it is, right? Best to take it as how the market will develop. There's nothing we can control. I think the sell is, like I said, consolidation, breakdown followed by a correction. That's something that more fits into my plan to get involved. And if you're looking for buy, I think the only buy opportunity is you have to have a confirmed breakout followed by a continuation, right? Correction after breakout. Breaking out of the trend line is one thing, but a consolidation follow after is going to give you the best entry point. So let's look at Euro Kiwi. A bunch of you guys have Euro Kiwi on watch, or Euro Kiwi sell, if I believe. So Euro Kiwi sell, I did update this. I did point this one out in my Telegram as well. I think Euro Kiwi is decent, but I also think a correction is needed. Now I talk about this probably for 2-3 weeks now. I think I got a lot of questions asking about Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi, Pound Aussie, Pound Kiwi, and I always keep saying I like the Kiwi pair more. I think Kiwi pair looks better. Now I think Euro Kiwi is the same thing, right? If you talk about all the way from the top here, all the way from the previous kind of sell that we talked about, after this big correction down, right, big impulse to the downside, we know likely we're going to fall into a larger consolidation. So this larger consolidation with a few swing highs and few swing lows, and together with that double top here, and I saw some of you guys got in on the sell here. I don't know if you guys are still holding the trade, but I did see a few screenshots that you guys got in. So good job on your part if you got in. Now I think if we're going to get a consolidation here after we break out of this structure here, will be very ideal for possible scaling if you're already in the trade, or if you haven't gone in the trade. I think this is also a potential entry down to maybe the previous low, or potentially kick off the next impulsive run to the downside. So that's something that I will keep an eye on. I think there is also lots of potential on this one, but I'm not going to enter right now, right? I need to see a consolidation here that's going to give me a confluence to look for an entry down if that does happen. Okay, so if you look at the lower time frame here, it looks like it's going to push up a little bit, but this is a lower time frame. Sometimes I find traders a little bit to zoom in to the lower time frame, and all you really need to do is just zoom out. You understand why the price behaved this way, right? There is going to be lower time frame potential bullish price action in this area, but it's not enough for you to look for a buy, at least for my personal view. I think the bearish bias and the bearish confluence on the higher time frame ultimately decides where the price can go. So I think it's better to wait for a consolidation here if it's going to happen, and look for a potential sell opportunity maybe this week or next. Okay. So that's Euro Kiwi. Hello, hello. So let's continue here to Pound Kiwi now. Pound Kiwi is another one I update, and looks like it's continued to drop, right? I saw someone, again, catch this trade here as well that I point out. So again, good job on your part. I think it's pushing down quite impulsively, so that's good. But I think there's likely to be a little bit of consolidation here to push it down to the next low here. So be careful if you're in the trade, or if you haven't gone in the trade, if you're looking for a trade. Be careful here. Just wait for a consolidation here. It's better in my opinion. Likely because we already kind of break down. We pushed down quite a bit already, 300 pips or so. I think that's quite a big run already. So likely a pullback or a consolidation here to lead to the next downside. But overall price is there, right? We have the impulsive break. We have a correction here, and we have that double top here, similar like Euro Kiwi, and price is breaking down. So that's good from a bearish point of view as well. Now, lastly, some of you guys talking about Kiwi Cat. Gold, I will go over right after I finish all the Forex pairs, and silver as well. So be got chopped before Kiwi Yen just to see it drop. Yeah, sometimes that happens, my friend. Don't worry too much about it, right? I always suggest people that if your overall direction, if your overall bias and your forecast is correct, and potentially if you didn't catch the move or because of the entry, stop loss, don't drown on it too much, right? That's something that you can tweak, right? You can work on, but the overall, when you have the ability to analyze the market to pinpoint what the possible direction, that is something that is much more important, right? Once you get that, once you have comfortable of identifying the uh, next potential run and your forecast and your bias is on point, then you can slowly tweak on your entry, your stop loss, your management, etc. Right? So that's something that I would suggest all traders to think about. Kiwi Cat, a bunch of you guys are asking about sell. I think there is possibility of sell here, but I think there is something. I'm looking at Aussie Cat here, right? Because they're usually going to be somewhat correlated. Aussie Cat here seems like it's like similar like Aussie dollar, right? We broke that previous kind of high, and then if there's consolidation here, I do think there is a possibility of another up move. Only a consolidation here that could potentially lead to the next upside. Now, if we look at Kiwi Cat here, I'm sure probably a lot of you guys were looking for sell, probably draw the structure similar like what I did. There is possibility of the sell, right? If we look at from all the way from the top here, the sell has already happened, the impulsive move has happened, and we're falling into a larger kind of correction. Now, I think there is something going on here, right? We have a few swing highs and a few swing lows, and depending on what the price is doing at this top here, right? It looks like it's just consolidating here, right? There's not too much movement here, which is probably what we want if we're looking for a potential sell. Now, if this fits your plan, of course, you want to see a push down from the price first, right? First impulsive move, first correction, and potentially drop down the price. Now, I guess the only thing that you should be aware of is that we went through a few Kiwi pairs, right? And we talked about a few Kiwi pairs are likely to correct, right? Are likely to correct. So if the Kiwi pair is correct, that means Kiwi pair may lose some strength, which means that this may start dropping down. I think that's a positive or added influence on your side. Um, that's about it. I guess the only thing that is throwing me off here is a little bit is that Aussie Cat here looks a little bit more bullish, and Kiwi Cat looks a little bit bearish, more bearish on the side, right? So if this something that fits your plan to enter, I think it's totally fine. I think the confluence is there, the bearish move is there, the correction is the double top is there, a few swing high, a few swing lows. I guess I just looking at this consolidation here, I'm trying to draw in potential structure here. Maybe there is a ascending structure here. Some of you guys may see it this way. So the last confirmation, in my opinion, is a impulse breakdown followed by a correction. I think that's fine to potentially get involved. Dogecoin, I will go over at the end. Yeah, sound and video got lower over on YouTube. Unfortunately, yeah, YouTube got a little bit issue with the stream, so I apologize on that. I'm trying my best to see if I can fix that through the next time again. All right, so that's Kiwi Cat. No other ones. Oh, Aussie Kiwi. Yeah, Aussie Kiwi. Remember, I took a loss here on Aussie Kiwi. Right, this is my loss here from last week. I update everyone in the recap video. At the time, I thought was actually a good entry. I don't know if you guys enter the same, but the way how I see it is I'm happy to take an entry. I'm happy to take a loss here because everything fits my plan. Right? Remember, taking a loss doesn't mean anything. Right? You understand any professional, consistent trader will take a loss. It's how we manage the loss. Do we cap our risk small? We cap our reward big, right? And your losses are going to easily get covered up by your wins anyways, right? So don't drown on this. If all of this fits your plan to enter and it becomes a loss, don't drown on it too much, right? I never feel upset if I take a loss or whatever, because if I follow my plan to enter and I took a loss, I'm perfectly fine taking a loss here. So what do we expect here from the price? Well, I think there is a bigger consolidation here, right? If we look closely, we're basically forming still consolidation here. Nothing changes, right? Previous entry I took a loss, but doesn't change the price, right? We're still in the consolidation here. This still looks like an inverse head and shoulder. We still have that bullish impulse up and followed by continuation kind of price action here. And nothing changes here because the descending structure is still there. The bullish bias that we're looking for is still there, right? So in terms of entry, I mean, I don't really see an entry here, but I would think an entry would develop here if we can complete this correction here. Looks like there is consolidation here, which is good, right? It looks like there is similar consolidation on the left shoulder here, so the same degree of consolidation, which is good for us. I think the only thing I want to look for now is a completion of this consolidation here. Whether or not price is going to break out here or break out here to enter, I think that's okay. That will signify this descending structure is complete, and from the previous descending structure where the price initially pushed up, this is that double bottom here that we talk about, right? So all this can add very good confluence for a possible buy. So I'll be looking to see if this correction completes either a push up, a correction here, or a correction after we break out of that descending structure. I think that's fine as well. And looking for the target up to the recent high here. So let's continue here. Kiwi Swiss, looks like some of you guys are asking about Kiwi Swiss. And yeah, same idea. I update everyone in my Telegram that I think Kiwi Swiss and Aussie Swiss looks okay. If we zoom out here, we have the impulse and move to the upside, right? This is a larger kind of correction to making. Remember the previous Kiwi Swiss pair that I got involved here did take a trade here and then exit after that head and shoulder. Push all the way down, and it looks like there was a decent new structure that pushed the price up again. And I saw, again, some of you guys are in the Kiwi Swiss trade in my Telegram, so good job. I think everyone is similar, probably seeing the same thing, right? At least from my point of view that I saw, we're potentially looking for upside here. So all it is now is we need to see consolidation here. I think that's pretty crystal clear. We impulsively break out of that structure, even the previous high as well, even this previous high. And a consolidation here is going to give us a better probability of leading towards the next high here. But be careful, right? We don't know how deep or how long or how length this correction will go. So be careful. We're not just going to jump in on everything that we see here. We need to see consolidation. We need to see bullish continuation price action. That's going to give us the last confirmation we need to look for an upside move here. All right, so I think most of you guys are probably seeing the same thing as me on Kiwi Swiss. So Kiwi Swiss does look pretty decent, and I do agree Kiwi Swiss is possible on a potential up move, just like Aussie Swiss as well, right? Some of you guys are looking at Aussie Swiss as well. It's just the structure is slightly different than Kiwi Swiss. It looks like Kiwi is stronger in general, right? We can tell Kiwi actually breaks out of that previous structure. Whereas Aussie Swiss didn't break out of this structure, but it's creating kind of an expanding structure. Remember, expanding structure, the way how I explain in my videos, is more advanced. They can be both continuation or reversal, but in this case, to me, it looks more of a reversal correction, which is breaking out now, which is good. So same idea, right? If you wait for a consolidation after we broke this high here, it's likely to give you another probability of pushing the price. So I think it's best to choose just one or two, right? If you want to choose Aussie Swiss or Kiwi Swiss, just choose one of them. If I was to choose, I'd probably go with Kiwi Swiss. I think Kiwi Swiss is a much, much cleaner price action, right? Okay. So let's move on here. I think I explained all the pairs that were mentioned, unless I missed anything. I'm just scrolling back right now. Silver, I will go over right after. Gold, I'm going to go over right after. All the crypto, I'm going to go over after I finish commodity indices, which won't be long. Oil, I will go over. Yes, oil, I'll go over. Platinum, I will go over that as well. Euro, dollar, cat. Someone mentioned about dollar, cat, right? I didn't go over this. I think last week when I talked about dollar, cat, I thought there is confluence here after we push down, correct, and looks like that head and shoulder pattern. Usually, you want to see head and shoulder pattern at the top of the overall price here, but I think in this case, what it is becoming just a correction to push lower, right? It doesn't necessarily have to form into a flag or something like that. We saw a correction kind of price action structure, so it looks like it's pushing down more. Now, I reasonably think dollar CAD is going to be the key with like euro CAD or other CAD pair like pound CAD or something. I think they're all kind of in this consolidation, like pound CAD is in this consolidation that could push down lower. Euro CAD we went over is a decent setup here if it fits your plan to enter. Now, dollar CAD here is, I mean, my bias here is still sell, of course, but I think nothing is going on here so far. We did push down from the price. So another consolidation here would be nice to lead to another downside, in my opinion. So, but again, we're getting also very close to this previous low where the previous low did push up the price also, right? So you want to be careful if you're into selling this, just have to be careful when the price does hits this low because it can easily kind of reverse back up and we don't know what will happen, right? So be careful if you're in the sell already. Be careful at this low. If you haven't gone in the sell, if it does correct here, it's a possible entry, but I wouldn't recommend it, or I personally won't take it because I cannot fit 3-to-1 here down to this low, and I would prefer to have that behind me. Yeah, oil, I'm going to go over after, like I mentioned. Yeah, so to recap everything, I did go over all those pairs. I'll go over really quickly, and then we'll jump into commodity, guys. So appreciate your patience here. Dollar, euro dollar, I mentioned this, right? We need to see price is impulsively breaking out this descending structure now. So a correction here, a consolidation here will give us a better opportunity only if it develops something that we want to see, right? So, sorry guys, let me. So only a consolidation here, I think it's better to get involved, but so don't jump in on the trade if it doesn't develop the right price action. We want to see bullish continuation here. Euro yen went over a couple times, right? I like the entry. I like everything I see from the higher time frame down to the lower time frame. Impulse and move, expanding structure, double top here. We have the rising wedge, and we have head and shoulder. I think that's way enough confluence for me to enter a position. So we'll see how this one plays out into the next few days. If it's going to push down past this low, and then if it does pass this previous low, then I will look to see if it's going to continue lower. So that's about it, everyone. So let's jump on to commodities now. So sorry I use a little bit more time here on the Forex pairs, but we did go over everything we want to talk about. So oil and platinum and silver and gold. So let's get started with oil. Last week, at least what you guys are seeing, you guys are looking for oil sell, right? If I'm correct. So oil sell. Or at least I don't know if you guys are looking for oil sell. Can you guys give me a long or short on oil if you guys are looking at oil? How do I set stop loss? There's a bunch of videos I explain this. So if you go on my YouTube, risk management, there's a bunch of videos here about setting stop loss and things like that. So you can watch a few of these risk management video and get a feel of it, and watch more of my streams how I set stop loss. Usually going to be my stop loss is always going to be like above the current correction, right? So something like this, If I was to enter, I always use stop entry order. I never enter market order. Okay, there's a difference because entry orders are a price that tags you in rather than we enter based on the current price, right? So stop entry order correction, set the stop loss above this high of this correction, right? So basically, this one is 25 pip stop loss, right? So 25 pip stop loss. So 130.57, 130.57, right? Just above this correction here and see what price will do. And I usually, if it's going to be head and shoulder, I usually want the stop loss above the left shoulder as well, just to cover my entry. Okay, remember, there's people who use stop loss a little bit not effectively. The stop loss is to protect your trade. I find sometimes traders, when they decide to stop loss, they just want to, well, the less stop loss I use, the more profit I make. Sure, that sounds reasonable on paper, but the tighter your stop loss, the more likely your price is going to get tagged off on it. And if it continues, that's just going to create an even bigger a negative drama, right? So you understand the stop loss is to protect your trade. So I always make sure my stop loss is in place before I calculate my reward. Okay, there's a difference. Sometimes people calculate their reward first and then decide their stop loss. To me, you should decide your stop loss first before you calculate your reward. Okay, your stop loss is to protect your trade, right? So you understand that. I'd rather take a break-even trade than I take a loss trade. Right? I'd rather take a 1% than I take a break-even, right? Same idea here. So that's how I would decide on stop losses. You can check out my recap videos on every single trade I take in the past, where how I set my stop loss. Where is it? Yeah, all my recap videos explain everything, how I enter and set stop loss and things like that. You can watch that. You can learn a little bit more there. Live back testing, I've done a few of them already as well. Back testing chart session, you can watch these. There's 3 here. And then I also have a workshop, if I believe, back testing workshop as well. Watch this video as well. Okay, so let's get started with commodities here. I don't know if you guys looking for short for oil. So short for oil, let's take a look. I think somebody of you guys asked me about the short from last week, and I was a little bit more neutral. Because I've just not seen. I personally just not seen the confluence here. I'm trying to draw in something here. This doesn't even look like a structure that I will personally usually draw anyways. Now, all I see is a potential top here, and that's about it, guys. Like, I don't really see anything else here. The only thing that I see resemblance is this previous price where we have an impulse down, reversal impulse, and then falls into this kind of ascending-like structure, and then price push down. So similarly, something is happening here, but it's just not something that I personally would enter. I just don't see the sell confluence that much. I'm not sure how you guys are seeing this, but I'm just not feeling it or not seeing the same sell potential. Maybe like some of you guys are seeing it. Now, I do see resemblance, right? I do see the same resemblance price action. But for me to usually get involved into any position, I want more than just, something like this as a ascending structure to sell. Sure, there is probability of it working out, don't get me wrong, but we need to make sure the edge is on our favor side, right? We need to have more confluence, more bearish confluence that can add to our confirmation of a sell. Right? Remember, trading it's all probability, right? So don't get caught up with this. Sometimes I found traders say to me like, "Hey, you said not to sell, but the price dropped." Well, the way how I explain it is it's a probability, right? So if we blindly enter anywhere, there's a chance of it going up and there's a chance of it going down, right? But we need to increase the probability of our success by multi-time frame analysis, by having extra confluence, extra bearish price action if you're looking for sell. I just personally don't see much here other than this. I just don't think that's enough for me to justify a sell at this given moment. All right. But that, yeah, I mean, that's as well, right? But other than a head and shoulder here, what else is here, right? Again, we talk about head and shoulder will appear anywhere, any market, any time frame, right? It's just like we're going to see flags everywhere, right? So if you look at this, um, is this not a flag push out followed by a bullish flag, right? So it's a probability once again, right? We're going to see price action anywhere, any market, any time frame, right? But it doesn't mean it will play out, right? Just because we potentially see a head and shoulder, it doesn't guarantee this is going to drop. Remember this, right? This is what it comes down to back testing a lot is seeing a structure is good, but it doesn't guarantee it, right? We need extra confirmation, like something like this compared to, let's say, like euro yen. It's I list out a bunch of factors here, right? We list out larger expanding structure with few swing highs and low. We list out double top here as well. We list out ascending and rising wedge. We list out the head and shoulder, and we see the impulsive break of this ascending trend, rising wedge, and a continuation bearish price action on the right shoulder. So all these extra confluence compared to, let's say, oil is really the why I wouldn't enter oil. That's all it is, right? But again, I'm not saying this will not drop down, right? If you want to enter something like this, if it fits your plan, go ahead, right? But all I'm saying is, for me to consider entry, I need extra confluence, right? Sometimes people ask me, how come you take so little trades? How come you don't take more trades? Well, I don't take more trades because I'm only taking better trades, higher opportunity trades, higher probability trades. With if you're trading a larger account, you naturally wouldn't take so many trades because you don't want to put your risk account at a greater risk with mediocre trades, right? Something that is okay, but it's not the best, right? The more you cut down on those trades, the better your result will be in trading. So let's continue here, boys and girls. Let's look at silver here. Some people ask about silver. Didn't be able to catch this bullish run to the upside. I like how silver is pushing up though. So this is all good confluence in my opinion, that silver is pushing up. I think there is going to be further opportunities, right? If we get further consolidation here, just like the consolidation that we have seen in the past, right? We have seen a few of these consolidation already. So another consolidation here, I think it's a good idea to potentially look for another buy up to the top. We already have moved quite a bit already, so I think a consolidation here is needed, and then potentially push up to the next high here, like I pointed out here in this one. Now it will be pretty similar like gold in my opinion. Gold from NFP, I think this is from NFP on Friday, right? Kind of pushed up from the price. Now, it's the same approach on gold because I kind of explain gold like every stream is that I think gold here has a potential to kind of complete the structure, but because we're getting very close here, I just don't recommend for me to buy here. There's not enough room, right, to the upside. There's like this much room only, and depending on your risk reward and how you plan to enter, I just personally don't think there's enough to justify this one. Now, there is possibility, of course, to push up, and if it does complete this higher time frame structure, then I will be looking for further upside, right? If it forms a large, another continuation here, then I'll be looking for further upside. But because we're getting very close here, I remember every time when we get to the top here, you need to be careful because similarly, something like this can happen. You can see a bearish push down, correction, and push down to this low here. I like how we did hit this low and reverse, right? This is exactly kind of what I originally wanted to see is a push down to the low here and then a push up on the price. It's just that we're getting very close here. I just don't think there is enough to justify an entry here. But if we do complete and break out, I think there is better opportunity to look for entry like this. All right, so that's gold. Let's go to platinum. Platinum here. I think you guys are looking for long. Yeah, I do think this makes sense, right? I talk about when the price does hit this previous low, you want to be careful, right? Um, we talk about it from the higher time frame. If you guys remember from my higher time frame view, is that after this impulsive move, we have this expanding structure. We have that double top here. We have the impulse correction. We push down from the price, right? So on the lower time frame, we have already pushed down quite a bit, and we're at this previous low now, where price is forming into a structure here. Depending on how you want to draw this, you can draw it like this now because it's more like a pennant structure, but looking like it is potential reversal correction because this is at the previous low here, potentially double bottom here. Price does look like it's impulsively break, so if there is a correction here, I think that is okay. Um, Now, depending on how your management or what your expectation here is, because how far do you think this move will go, right? We can potentially hit this high here and then potentially just creating a bigger structure and then downside can happen after, right? So just be careful on this one. I do think there is something going on here, but I don't know if this is just going to push up and then basically form into a deeper correction and go down, right? You just have to see how these previous move has happened, where they do look like they were going to climb up, but they just falls into a deeper consolidation and continue downwards. Same thing kind of here, right? Sorry, same thing kind of here we see in this correction here, where price did kind of form into a correction here, but pushed the upside and then just drop down more. So just be a little bit careful, right? We do see, or I do see the potential bullish bias here, but be careful because price. What if price continue going like this once you get tech in and then just push down once more after that, right? Same thing like what we have seen here in the past. So just be careful if you enter. If you enter and then it pushes up, I would certainly move it to break even and then just observe how the price will go. Yes, the voice is not good, so yeah, you can watch the you can watch the stream on TradingView. There's the YouTube stream. There's some issue with the voice, so I apologize on that. Hopefully, I'm going to again look into that, see what I can do, but I apologize on that. So yeah, that is about it for commodities. So I'm gonna go into the indices and jump into crypto now. So bear with me. EuroCAD I went over a couple of times, so just have to watch the stream again or watch it on YouTube where you can rewind. That's also fine. Let's look at a few indices. Okay, let's look at indices now. I think indices can have some potential opportunities next few days. Now, my favorite ones are Nasdaq and S&P 500. Again, if you guys been kind of following me, my bias is for a potential sell, right? I'm not looking for long, but I'm only looking for sell if the right price action develops. So please be aware. I'm not just going to enter the sell out of nowhere. I think there is consolidation here that's happening, which is good. If we look at the overall price is in this kind of a larger ascending channel, and it is similarly like the previous one as well that I pointed out last week. And if we look at the lower time frame here, there is a consolidation here. I'd like to push off on the price. If this is not going to be a bullish continuation rather than a reversal, so a little bit of consolidation here, push down on the price followed by a continuation, that's certainly going to give you a potential downside to the low. As you can see, there's many attempts of the price trying to break down this structure that we're seeing, and they all kind of pull back or continue upwards. Now, the more you see this, the more likely this is going to be a larger reversal. So it's just a matter of time we're going to potentially catch the downside. Okay, and if we do, again, if we look at backtesting, if we see how price works, that is how the price always work, right? Correctively move up just to sell, right? Same thing what we have seen in the past, not just from Nasdaq, from any other U.S. indices. They tend to move this way a lot. Again, this is going to be helpful if you backtest all the market, and you will see the similar price play out. All I need to do now is just kind of wait for consolidation and wait for a correction here. I think that's going to give you a better probability of selling if it does develop into the right price action. And I would say it's similarly like S&P 500 as well. There is a little bit of consolidation here. If this doesn't lead to a bullish push up and continue, then to me this could be a reversal. Push down for the price, lower time frame correction here will give you a chance to sell. And again, it's very, very similar from previous price action as well, right? From COVID, you're going to see similar structure. Remember, because we can't see how it play out, and that's why we have different viewpoints. But if we see how COVID played out, this is exactly how the COVID price action formed, right? It's just forming a kind of descending structure as well, and then it just basically pushed down afterwards, right? So something like this could easily happen where we are right now. I'm not indicating that we might get a market crash like this, but I do expect a market correction and then take it from there afterwards. So German 30, I do agree there is selling opportunities, but again, I think I want to wait for this correction to complete, right? We're in similar structures, right? Similar kind of ascending structure. If we zoom out here a little bit, we already broke this high, which was the previous COVID crash, right? So, but we're falling into a consolidation, in my opinion. There's something going on here. Now, it's the same as the other US indices. If this is just going to push up followed by correction, then everything I talk about here, it voids it, right? Basically, it's not applicable anymore. But if it doesn't do that, right? If it just push up to the top and then reverse back down, and then continuation down later, then certainly this correction becomes a larger reversal kind of price action. So I think the good idea here is let this area consolidate or correct. This does its thing. The only down move that happens followed by a correction is the one that you want to get involved. Potentially, if it does break out of that structure, this will be a better sell as well once we completed this structure here. All right, last one, US 30, similar idea, but I think S&P and NASDAQ has just slightly better price action, which I will filter and end up choosing. But same idea here, right? There's consolidation here. You want to wait for a breakdown or an impulsive break to the downside, followed by continuation. That shows you that this correction is over and a potential reversal is possible and to kick off the down price. Right, so similarly, what we're seeing here is a similar structure that we're going to see from COVID as well, right? After the COVID correction, we see the crash. We're potentially seeing the similar kind of corrective structure here as well. All right, so that is US 30. So let's move on to crypto now. If there's no other question here on indices. Jumping to crypto now. So I'm looking at all the crypto pairs that you guys mentioned here. So I'm just making sure I catch all that and I'll explain all that here. So Doge I will talk about. I will also talk about Bitcoin. I will talk about XMR. I will talk about that. Okay, XMR, Link, and Matic. Yeah, I have those. All right, so let's get started with crypto now, guys. LTC, I have that. Good. So let's start with crypto now. I think there's quite a bit of crypto stuff I can go over and potential good opportunities ahead as well. Yep, I caught that, Nima. Yep, for sure, I'll go over those. Dot, I will go over that as well. So I appreciate you guys being very patient with me for the crypto stuff. Like I said, I always leave crypto to the last, so I appreciate you guys stay with me for like this whole hour-ish plus. So I really appreciate that. Just have quite a bit to go over. I have Ethereum as well. Thank you. I just have a lot to go over as well. So apologize that you guys are very patient with me. Whatever that's outside the crypto, I can go over in the Q&A section or Q&A time. So bear with me on that. So let's start with Cardano here. I like watching your work either way. Thank you a lot. I appreciate that. Okay, just had some coffee, so I feel good. Yeah, I bought this coffee here. I didn't drink the last an hour and a half. Right. Okay, so let's look at Cardano here. Now, I think there is pretty clear that we broke the all-time high here, right? We talk about all the way from the bottom here, price basically impulsively to break the all-time high. This is all good, right? This is what we want to see from the price. We're back into a potential bullish run again, right? From the previous bullish run, we have that crypto crash, right? But we fall into a descending structure to push up. So this is all good, and there's some consolidation here. Now, I think there's a few ways to take into consideration. I think last week I mentioned that potentially there is a possibility of making a bigger correction before the up move, right? So few swing high, few swing low, but we make a bigger consolidation above the all-time high. So a possible continuation is very, very likely. Uh, there's also a chance that this is all we need, right? We push up and just there it falls into a bunch of these smaller corrections, but these can all potentially lead to the next upside, right? So all of this left now is basically just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen here, right? There's a few consolidation here, but I think there is very likely to just see the price continue past the $3 mark. Now, the price is hovering around here because this is around $3, right? So usually there is, the typical support resistant view of people who are trying to sell this or whatever. I think it's just a matter of time when the price breaks this $3 mark and then just continue upwards and more. Right? Whether or not we continue from this smaller time frame, smaller correction, or we fall into a bigger consolidation. But I think the upside here is pretty clear to me. Right? We talk about this. I bring up Cardano every time, right? Because I have Cardano holding all the way from the bottom here. Hold through all this. I'm likely to hold through for the months and years to come, right? I think it's a very good crypto. It actually has utility and usage. I'm not a fundamentalist, so I don't really research too much into all that stuff. But I'll know the basic fundamental of what each coins do and things like that. So I do like Cardano. It's something that I can hold for years to come if that opportunity is given. Now that's what I see in Cardano. Let's move on to a few other ones. Bitcoin Cash. I don't know if you guys into Bitcoin Cash, but we see this similar price action across a couple crypto, right? After the initial crypto crash, what price did is we formed into a double bottom here, impulsively pushed the upside, followed by a continuation correction, and it's pushing up higher now. So the only thing that you need to worry about is this previous high here. Once the price does break this previous high and form into another correction, I think there's further upside potential from the price. No question about it. I think a lot of crypto did the same thing, which I will go over each and every one. But most of them did form this double bottom or some sort of descending structure or reversal price action, and then it leads to the first impulse up, and then forms into a correction and then continue upwards. Binance Coin, right? Someone asked me about Binance Coin as well. So Binance Coin did break this high here, which is kind of what I expected to do. We broke this high here. Are we going to get consolidation? I think a consolidation here would easily lead to a next up move to the all-time high. So I think this area here is quite important to just make sure to wait for a consolidation here. That can easily lead to the next up move and something that I will look into get involved in. Bitcoin. I saw a bunch of people on TradingView post short on Bitcoin. I personally see it more upside. I don't think there is bearish price action here. This scenario plays out kind of exactly what I was originally looking at. Is this becomes a reversal kind of structure. We pushed up, we broke this previous high. Price continued to push up, so I don't think there's any reason to think it will do otherwise. It's a little bit, it's not like moving up in a straight line, but it is moving up, correct, moving up, correct, moving up, correct, and moving up, right? So think reaching this previous high here is very, very possible. There is few entries here as well, right? In the middle, there's a lot of lower time frame entries as well. I don't know if any of you guys got in or anything, but to me, I think the upside is looking more possible or promising rather than a downside move. Once the price broke this high here, right, broke this previous high, and this becomes a reversal structure, there is really no bearish confluence here to look for a sell. Again, people look for a sell for a variety of reasons, right? They have different strategy, different entry, different style. So again, best to understand why we stick to one type of strategy, right? I'm not saying the way how I trade is the best. I'm simply saying it's best to stick to one type of analysis instead of incorporating a bunch of different things. Sometimes I found people have too many support resistance line going across, some EMA line going like this, some MACD, some indicators and things like that, where sometimes it's too clouded where it confuses you a lot. Okay, so how you want to trade, how you want to utilize your chart, it's up to you, of course. But I'm just saying that the less you have on the chart, the better it is for you to identify what's going on in price action, right? The less is more, as I always want to say it, right? Less is more simple, it's better, right? We want more simplicity so you can identify the impulsive phase, corrective phase, and impulsive phase again, right? You only need to identify two things. Is the market impulsive phase or is the market in corrective phase? Is the market in impulsive phase or is the market in corrective phase? Impulsive phase, corrective phase, impulsive phase, corrective phase, right? Impulsive phase. That is all you need to do. There's only two phases in the market. Once you see it like this, honestly, the trading will be much, much easier. It is much less stressful for you need to, check your trades or check your charts. That's all price will do, right? It doesn't matter which market, which time frame, whatever you're looking at. That is all the market can do. So let's continue here. Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin, talk about this from the bottom here when the price did initially push up from the bottom here, right? This is kind of what we expected for the price to break above this high here. And we basically is forming into another consolidation here for the upside. So to me, after the price push up this massive impulsive move, we broke this previous high, we formed into a larger correction. I think this is all good bullish perspective from the price. So if you can see here, price did break up here. So basically, if you're looking for entry, I think this was the entry here. This was a kind of a correction after breakout entry, and you want to see if the price can continue reaching this high here, which is possible. I think it's likely as well. Don't get too phased out on some lower time frame movement. This is tend to happen in crypto, right? We see this kind of price a lot when it just kind of moving like this, but eventually moving up like that, right? So something like this, right? Something like this where it basically pushed down to push up, pushed down to push up, right? We form into a larger correction, which is what we like to see. And I think there is quite a bit more potential to the upside. Once we're able to break this high here, right? This is the first initial potential target. If we do break above this high here and then continue higher, then I do expect to reach this previous high here as well. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I pause. Sorry, I pause the sound. Yeah, I got it, guys. Apologize. I paused the sound to like sneeze, so I'm good. I think sound is good, right? Let me repeat this on .usd. Apologize. So I mentioned about there was that falling wedge, right? So falling wedge correction, we did reverse up, right? We broke this previous high as well. I wouldn't be too worried about these smaller potential ascending structures because I think we're in a bullish run. We also broke the previous high. So a consolidation here can lead to another up move, in my opinion, to reach the all-time high. So that's something that you can consider because we already reversed from this, right? We already broke this previous high here. So to me, the upside looks more promising and more likely. So a correction here can easily lead to another upside, right? Sneeze away. Yeah, apologize. The sound is gone now. Sound is up now. So I thank you for pointing that out. Moving on to Ethereum. I'm not sure if any of you guys are in Ethereum, but Ethereum did pretty much push up and reverse quite a bit, right? Remember, this was the previous kind of the crash from all the crypto market, and we fall into this larger descending structure, right? And we talk about the reversal from the bottom here and give us a very good opportunity because once the price reverse up like this and we pass this previous high, right? We pass this previous high, and I mentioned if another consolidation here can likely to lead to another high here, and it's a little bit odd the correction, not something that we're used to, but understanding what price does, right? Impulsive move, corrective phase, and an impulsive move once again. So how we name these correction is really not that important. All we need to know is this a continuation or is it a reversal? That's all we need to identify in price. Right? Although it doesn't look like something that we're used to, but it is a consolidation. It does have a few swing highs and few swing low, like I always talk about what structure should need. And that gives you a opportunity of a long. Right? It looks like it is pushing up. So I see it no difference to actually reach the all-time high and continue upwards, right? Now you just have to be a little bit more careful. I think the buy entry is likely to show up here, but we don't know if this is all the corrective price action we need to continue higher, or we are going to get a bigger consolidation here before the next up move. I think it's both likely. So be careful if you're into buying this. If you are trading with or without margin, that's up to you, of course. Just be careful, right? Because we did see a larger correction to push up. This is all good. So likely we can continue. It's just that is this lower time frame corrective enough, or we're going to fall into a deeper correction and then push up as well. So just understanding there's a few potential possibility of the price, right? So you just have to be careful. Yeah, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. I appreciate you guys asking. I'm not sick at all, really. I just have allergy with my nose for months and years now, so it's not something. Fall honey how we're still falling without sound. So Link USD is breaking up now, right? This is kind of what I originally talked about. If we get a consolidation here, we're pushing up now. We're pretty much above this. We're at this high now, right? So this is all good from a bullish price action point of view. I think all we need now is, like I said, a lot of these crypto have the similar price action, right? We have that crypto drop. We either fall into some sort of descending structure or some sort of double bottom or some sort of reversal price where it did have the bullish reversal. So I think a continuation upwards and correction here can easily lead to the all-time high here. Okay, so be on the lookout for something like this. If it does break this high, it basically looks like it's en route to break the high already, right? So that's very good news for us. Link USD, same. I mean, Litecoin, same idea here, right? We have the crypto crash. We have that descending structure pushing the price down. We have a double bottom. We have an impulse lead break. So basically, we continue the impulse. We have a correction here. We push up now. Again, we're at this previous high here. So just be a little more careful, right? If continue upwards followed by correction is going to be your confirmation to a next high to the top here. But if it doesn't happen here, right, if it start reversing back down, there's a small chance that it will do that, right? So be careful. I wouldn't recommend jumping here, but I would see if it breaks above and then correction after, then certainly pushing it to the all-time high here is very possible. So Matic, I do like Matic as well. It does look like it is pushing up as well, but again, it's the same height that you need to be a little bit cautious with, right? So we have the crypto drop, we have this kind of a falling wedge kind of price action. I like the inverse head and shoulder pattern as well, and price basically consolidating here and then push up now, right? Again, it's kind of consolidating here at this previous high. You can see it did reach the previous high, push down, and then it seems like it's pushing up again. I think a consolidation here will give us a breakout and then continue to the previous high, or just push up here followed by a correction. It's the same thing, but the bullish bias or the view is there, right? The bullish kind of price action is there to continue the price up to the previous or all-time high in this case. I'll leave Ripto last, but HMR. So HMR here. Same idea here, right? We have this previous double bottom after the crypto crash. We have this previous double bottom here. Price is pushing up. There is a correction in the middle. Now we're at this high once again, right? This is that previous high. Some of these crypto are, I would say, I don't want to say struggling. I think they're just consolidating in this area and they're just waiting for price to break above and then continue to the upside afterwards. So to me, I would not be buying here, but I would again wait for price to either consolidate here to push up or just wait for price to push up completely and then lower time frame correction to look for a buy after. I think it's the same idea here because we have this double bottom there. We have this high here that the price is currently trying to break above. So just be patient here, wait for price to consolidate or break above, and then look for opportunity afterwards. Last I want to go over is Ripple, right? Ripple is the only trade I have that's going on crypto. I talk about this from last week as well. Basically, price is pushing up as expected. We actually break out of this continuation correction, so it's good for our further scaling opportunity or further upside. It's very possible. After this impulsive break, we have all this confluence here to look for upside, and it is breaking above this previous high currently. So I think either a consolidation here would be nice to possibly scale in, or if we can just basically push up a little bit higher and then another correction here, I can look for a scale in opportunity to get back in. And I don't think I've moved my stop loss here, but I will move my stop loss to break even. And it's running about, I think, 2.5% or so. Yeah, 2.5% or so. So I think it's good. But I'm looking to hold it longer if I can. Looking towards the next high here as a potential target, and gonna go from there. All right. So that's Ripple, the only position I have on crypto right now. And I do think there is possible further upside opportunity um, if we can get a consolidation here. I think that would be nice to see, and I definitely think there is more room to the upside as well. Now that we completed this correction, now that we completed this continuation correction, right? It's a larger correction for this bullish move. We have few swing highs and few swing lows. We're breaking above, so another leg up to the price. If we get consolidation, I think it is logical and potentially even reach all-time high. Well, not all-time high. This is not all-time high, right? All-time high was much higher at $3 or something, right? But it's en route to potentially breaking above this consolidation here and then continue upwards. Okay, so that's Ripple. Any question here on any of the crypto? Any question on crypto pairs? Or in general, any questions for me? I'm gonna leave some time for the Q&A, but I just want to find out if there's any crypto questions or crypto pairs. If not, we'll go to a Q&A. For your information, YouTube sound is very okay. No cracking sound now. Okay, I appreciate that, Herman. I don't. I appreciate if you can update me next one, next stream or whatever. Uh, that would be awesome to do. Thank you. German 30, I went over that, my friend. Right after you point out German 30, I did go over that as well. I did go over German 30, but let's take a look quickly. I mentioned about, I do agree there is something going on here for a potential sell, right? Looks like there's a larger correction in making. But I mentioned I'm only going to get involved if we see a breakdown from the price or possibly breaking out of this structure here. Right now, it's not much going on here, right? So I'm not looking to buy or sell. And I mentioned if this just impulsive break followed by correction, then this voids everything I talk about here. But if it does not, if it just kind of push up to the top here and then start reversing back down, then something could give us an opportunity. Whether you're okay to sell here at halfway or wait for a breakout to sell, I think either or is fine, depending on your risk management and your trading plan. Okay. Yeah, no worries. But that's kind of what I see. No worries about. Yeah, I understand video was choppy. I apologize. Uh, BitTorrent. I would say it's pretty much the similar kind of price, like what we talk about a few other crypto, right? We have that crypto drop, right? And then we have a double bottom here. We push up the price here, and we have a correction here. So everything is looking pretty similar, like what we explained other crypto, right? You just kind of see if this is going to be some sort of a correction after breakout entry, if that fits your plan. Consolidating here could potentially lead to the next upside. We are breaking above this previous high here, right? That's kind of the high that I always look out for. We did break above this high. We did have a consolidation here. So another correction here is possible to lead to another upside, in my opinion. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for the coin. Appreciate that, my friend. AXS. Is that a crypto or is that a? It's a crypto. So actually, first time looking at this, but it does look pretty bullish, right? Just judging by what we have seen in the past. I don't have too much data, or maybe that's when it started. Um, it looks like it is in a pretty bullish run, right? If we look at the overall price here, there is consolidation here. We push the upside. Looks like there is another consolidation here. It had a break up and then quickly break down, but that doesn't really phase me too much. As long as there is further consolidation here, I don't think that's a bad thing to get involved in. It depends on how this area will do. As long as it doesn't just start dropping down past this previous low, then I think there is consolidation. Judging by what the price has already moved, certainly this after this consolidation can lead to another up move, but depending on how you want to enter this, right? Because everyone enter things differently, so best to see how you would look out for these type of entries. I think I would wait for another push up, at least some sort of consolidation here. That would be better for me to consider an entry, something like that. But again, because we move up quite a bit already, so just have to be careful a little bit, okay? Because sometimes after this kind of a move, right, price falls into a deeper consolidation before the next up move, right? The up move is pretty clear. It's just whether or not this is all the correction it needs to continue, or sometimes we create a larger or deeper structure and then still continue afterwards. QNT, yeah, someone asked QNT, right? I will go over that. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't have too much data to refer back on, but it looks like it is pretty bullish, right? There's something going on here. It had a really strong bullish push to the upside. Now, I know there's something going on here on the lower time frame, but I don't think that's something that I will get involved in. This move is quite sharp where it does require a little bit of a consolidation for the upside, right? So be on the lookout for something like this would be more ideal. Now, if you go down to a lower time frame, possibly that's a correction, but I just don't think this is enough to correct all this move. I would prefer something that is slightly bigger or something that's a little bit more tangible, right? The upside looks pretty clear, right? If we just lodge this, right, the upside looks pretty clear. There's a few correction in the middle to push up the price already, but you expect a correction. It's going to be similar like these, right? It's not going to be this much enough, especially this bullish push is quite sharp, right? So you would expect similar correction like these to push up the price further after. All right, so that's Q and T. See you later, buddy. See you later. See you next time, my friend. So that is it for crypto, everyone. I'm happy to do a few more Q&A before I wrap it up. It's almost 2 hours, but if you have any questions on anything, right now is a good time to ask me and happy to answer. Hey, you're welcome, Nima. Nice. Oh yeah, yeah, Neo. Yes, let's go over that one. Sorry, I apologize. I didn't catch on that. You asked me this earlier. Yeah. So Neo, NIO Inc. stock. Um, tell you the truth, I'm not really seeing too much here. I'll explain why. It looks like there was a bottom here, right? It looks like there was a kind of a descending structure here. Push the price up, which is good, breaking above this high, but kind of falling to more of a consolidation here. Now, this can certainly lead to a potential up move, but it's just that um, you're waiting for a pretty much a confirmation breakout on the price and then a consolidation here to push up the price. I think that's probably the logical choice. This push to the downside descending structure is okay, and then this bullish push up is good as well. It's just that this correction here, I was more expecting it to be more tight and then basically push up after, right after we broke this high, but it basically kind of correct back down past this previous low, which is a little bit something that you should be aware of. But I think the upside move is still there. The bullish up move is still there, right? So if this consolidation completes, then a break above, followed by a correction here, it looks like an inverse head and shoulder as well, could potentially lead to a break above this high or hitting the all-time high. I think that's all logical in my opinion. I did go over Bitcoin, my friend, but I can quickly go over Bitcoin again. Uh, yeah, so Bitcoin for me, I'm really not seeing any bearish price action. To me, it's just bullish price action, right? I talk about this when we see this as a descending structure and price impulsively break above, right? So we know that this is a descending structure that we're in. To me, it's just further upside depending on how you want to enter or if you already entered this. But I think there is a bunch of lower time frame correction that is pushing up to the upside. So I'm not really seeing that as a bearish kind of price action. To me, it's pretty clear that after this bearish impulsive phase, we are corrected by a reversal correction. So after a reversal correction, it leads to the next bullish run. And this previous high here, we're getting pretty close here. So expect price to consolidate, push up to reach the high, at least in my opinion. This is already a bullish impulsive phase, in my opinion. This is not corrective, right? This is corrective, but we're in potentially an impulsive phase to upside. So, uh, one question, I always appreciate you sharing your experience. I find it very useful for new traders like myself, and I'm sure experienced trader who want to continue to improve will find your content of value. I understand as a new trader, it takes me longer on a chart to recognize different possibility. How long did you take before you were able to spend less time on the chart? I think the quick answer is it will take year, right? It will take year or years, to be honest. It's just one of those things where don't buy into what social media tells you, right? Social media, the typical scammers or gurus will trying to convince you that if you learn from them, you will become rich and instantaneously. That is not the case in trading. That is certainly not the case for um, you know for any trader to be consistent in trading because it's just one of those things where you need to make mistakes. You basically need to lose money to learn. Unfortunately, to put it this way, it's like almost most professional consistent trader will lose money or even blow accounts before they learn. Like I blew accounts when I in the beginning of my trading career, right? But this is my year 8 now trading, right? So the first 1 or 2 years, it's going to be the hardest because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have all sorts of emotional drama, right? All sorts of trading psychology will happen to you, right? Revenge trading, emotional trading, over leverage, over position. That's all going to happen. Disregard who you are as a person, right? It's just part of the game. But once you do, encounter them, and it's a choice now to improve on them or just to give up, like most people do. Why do you think most 90 to 95% traders fail because of this reason, right? They think trading is easy because they think social media, the typical scammers or fakers, they make money on a demo account. They think trading is easy, but it really isn't once they get in and they realize the emotion get the best of them and they start blowing accounts, they start trading, over trading, they lost a few money in account and they automatically assume trading is a scam. Trading is definitely not a scam, right? It depends on how you see it, how people do it. But human beings, right? They like to blame others. Unfortunately, we're emotional animals. Humans like to blame others for their own mistakes, right? When they make mistakes, they like to blame the market. They like to blame the brokers. They like to blame their strategy. They like to blame their mentor, things like that, right? It's just in human typical nature. But once you understand none of them is the cause of you losing. The only cause of you losing is yourself, right? Your emotion, your mindset, your greed, you're trying to get rich, right? All that thing is all up to yourself. And if you work on those aspects, you can slowly improving on your trading progress. And I always tell people if you're trying to double your small account, you're likely to fail. But if you're trying to grow your account consistently by compounding your account, by risking, 1%, but you have good risk reward, that's when you actually become more consistent and sustainable in trading. So think about what I just said is If a new trader jumping in trying to double their $100 account, they're surely going to fail and blow their account in no time. But if you come into the market understanding that, well, for the first maybe 1 or 2 years, I'm just going to learn as much as I can, understanding consistency, understanding the sustainable approach. And once you're consistent, there is many other ways to trade bigger money. Maybe there's prop firms you can join, and maybe there's other source of income that you can use to trade. And once you're consistent, you will always be consistent. But before you reach the consistency, you're likely to make a lot of mistakes, and that's how you're going to improve as a trader. All right. Appreciate your daily views. Really sharpen my trading skill in psychology. Good job. Nice to hear that, my friend. Gold and platinum, I already went over those, Steve. So if you're on YouTube, just scroll back to the commodity section. I went over both of them. U.S. oil. Why didn't I draw descending structure? What descending structure are you talking about? Like, are you talking about something like this? Like, is this the descending structure you're talking about or not? Or maybe can you share a screenshot of it? That would be nice to use. So, smaller and bigger correction, how to know that will happen? We don't know exactly it will happen, but what we do here is I made a bunch of videos on this, my friend. If you're not sure about price action and videos and things like that, there's this video I made lately, how to effectively use trendline to identify price action structures and patterns. You can watch this to learn a lot more. Um, but basically, we are just framing the structures, right? I talk about this is that, let's say for this euro yen example, you always have to identify what the impulsive phase is, and after a impulsive phase, there is going to be corrections, right? Corrective phase. So this is a larger correction with a few swing highs and lows, right? This is a larger expanding structure. Again, every single price action structures and patterns is all in this playlist. You just have to watch it. Right? I explain any sorts of price action structures and patterns, right? Wedge, continuation, channel, expanding structures, M and W patterns, head and shoulder, flag, things like that, double bottom, ascending channel, things like that. There's too much information. You just have to look at them one by a time. But we include multi-time frame analysis, right? This is a larger expanding structure. We have a double top, we have rising wedge, we have head and shoulder. All that is going to add confluence for you to look for a possible sell bias, and that's kind of how you identify structures, right? Connect the highs and lows, connect the swing highs and lows. That's what a structure looks like, and that's how you pinpoint them. I don't see that as a descending structure on oil personally. I'm sure that could be a possibility, but I don't see it like that. I think it's too wide or too, I don't really want to say descending structure, right? We're seeing it more like this. I don't really want to classify this as a descending structure personally. So, and if it's descending structure, then this is more likely to be a reversal, right? I mean, a bullish up move rather than the sell move that most of you guys are saying. So, again, it's when you have conflicting bias, something like this, I'm just best to stay away from it. Last one, dollar, Singapore dollar. Went over this in the earlier beginning already. So but it is obviously looking more bearish, right? I talk about this as well. So we did push down from the price originally from where I was looking at continuation price action. Now that we broke this low, I mentioned if we get another consolidation here, this can lead to another down move from the price. All right. So any last minute question before I wrap it up, everyone? Been talking for about 2 hours now, so going to wrap it up now very soon. Audio is perfect now. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hopefully that will be the case next stream. So that is it for me. I think there's no other questions. I'm gonna wrap it up today and see how these two positions will go. Ripple here and Euro Yen, right? So Euro Yen just hovering around here. I'm perfectly fine just chilling here. Maybe we're just gonna get a bigger consolidation here, and that's fine with me as well. So we'll see how this one goes and take it from there. All right. So last one, right? Euro Yen running positions, and then Ripple I am also running position as well, right? So two positions running. Uh, Ripple here in I think 2.5% profit or so in my opinion, I think. And then Euro Yen is just hovering around break even right now. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys, and thank you very much for being with me today for the last 2 hours. Really appreciate the regulars and any newcomers. If you like these things, if you like the streams, you like these, make sure you can subscribe on YouTube to learn everything about price action here for free. I have these workshops that are hours long where you can learn everything about how I trade. And the price action structures and patterns is all in here. And any of the recap videos I do for every single week, every single trade I took, both win or losses, are always going to showcase here. And TradingView, this is where you can get all my analysis, all my forecasts and bias and things like that. These are not signals, so please don't trade based on what I post. It's a forecast of what I think the price can do, and how you enter and how you risk and how you manage. It's all up to you. And in my Telegram, where I post links for my streams, and I'll post updates or analysis what I see for the week ahead, and all my educational videos, my updates, my uh, everything else on there is here. Okay, so that's where you can follow me for further information. And that is about me for me. So thank you very much, guys, and I shall see you guys all next time. All right. Thank you very much, and be safe out there, and see you all